My final pet peeve is blonde people at the racetrack. They use their Reba Power Walk and they just are all over the place, bouncing around. They care more about their hair than their personality. And it shows. And not only that too, but they really, really, really need to learn how to not wear beanies when it's 95 degrees outside.
Why is she wearing my clothes? Race fans, welcome back to another Track Packers podcast. Mason, lead us off in this wild episode.
Yes, so as you can tell, this is already different than normal, and this could either be a really fun episode or this could be the Hot Mess Express. But I am here with all my assistant flagmen, John, Jessup, Becca, and myself. As you can tell,
We have the Hot Mess Express.
This is true.
Oh, look, John, flag holder.
Yeah, as you can see, already a Hot Mess Express. We are in the Mason Nern Racing Videos headquarters, kind of the staging area for our weekend ahead, but we'll kind of get to that in a little bit. But first of all, thank you to our presenting sponsor, Hitch Harness, Tyler Hall. If you haven't checked out Hitch Harness, focuses on receiver hitch storage and safety. Also, some items for the racers, including chassis, dollies, pole bar brackets, as Jessup alluded to last week, who explained in great detail what a pole bar bracket was.
Check it for your pole bar.
Exactly.
Where do I lie, Mason?
Well, no lies detected, but head over to hitchharness.com to see the full details on all the products they have. We want to thank Tyler so much for the support on the podcast this season. And so, as you can tell, we have still kept our lineup up. We have John on the pole,
Yes.
followed by Jessup, Becca, and myself.
Front row.
Because that's actually how it turned out with all the cautions. So, this is the way the lineup is. John, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very good, Mason. Here, would you like me to take the mic?
Yes.
Test. Oh, sorry. I do that at the racetrack all the time. It's just a habit. So, Mason, I'm doing quite well tonight. So, as we are getting prepared, it's all of us together for the first time here in a long time on the Track Packers podcast. And we're getting ready for some hot racing action during Labor Day weekend. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jessup, how are you doing?
Well, John, we've been better. We've been a lot better. The Pelkeys have managed in under a 4-hour span to get rear-ended and hit a deer at about 80 miles per hour. So,
With different vehicles.
with both of our vehicles, we went from 2 healthy vehicles to now 2 Paralympic vehicles.
Would that be, did you have a couple caution flags on the way over here?
I think.
No,
Mason.
we dumped that. Becca
I think Becca's was a red flag.
got her position back. Meanwhile, the other car went pit side. And as for the deer and my vehicle, we never let off the gas and kept kicking ass. And that deer was pretty much venison jerky as it went helicoptering into the infield.
My God.
We were on the phone with Ryan Aho, and he heard. We were on the phone with Ryan Aho, and he heard the thud as we made impact with the deer. And he's like, "Oh my God, did you guys hit a deer?" And I was like, I screamed. First of all, I was like, "Oh my God!" And yeah, I was like, "Yeah, I'm a screamer." Anyways,
How are you doing otherwise?
Interesting, Becca. Tell us more fun facts. These are now.
I just kind of
We're now into the segment of Becca fun facts.
no, we're not. Anyways, it's been a day. Starting off with getting rear-ended because I was Well, I was rushing home, but I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was waiting for my turn. I was stopped at a stop sign. Yes, yeah, exactly. So I was stopped at a stop sign waiting for my turn in the three-way to turn, and all of a sudden out of nowhere I get rear-ended. Not my fault. So then an hour later, an hour behind schedule, and never got to leave before 6 like we wanted to. Had to pack, get Gordy ready, get Jessup ready, and then we left and then realized we forgot stuff. So had to go back to the house, grab more stuff.
I didn't take pictures of her car.
Yes. So yeah, all sorts of just chaos. And so 3 hours later, we finally made it to Fargo, and it is now dang near midnight, and we're podcasting, which isn't too far off. I mean, this is probably what we're doing anyway on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night or whatever day of the week it is.
Oh, I mean, I've had a good day. It's been nice to prepare the Racing and Racing Video Studio for our podcast tonight, and John and I had a lovely dinner. We did. While we were waiting patiently for the Pelkeys, who were lap traffic and decided to hit everything but the pace car. But anyways, they're all here, and that is all that matters. And so with that, we will drop the green flag. Did you actually drop the green flag?
Yes, hold on.
Oh, yes. Drop them both.
There we go. We have dropped the green flag. We're starting episode number 26 of season 2 with Who or What Are We Repping, and we will go to the front row, I'm sorry. John Breckle, Who or What Are You Repping?
Oh, well, okay, so it's history lesson time. So I am wearing the 44th annual Jamestown Stock Car Stampede shirt, and Becca, put your phone down, because this was a very special year for the Stock Car Stampede. And who can tell me why it was a special year?
It rained out.
No.
And then it went to...
You are wrong. You get the caution flag. Okay,
You
here.
asked.
Was that the 45th annual where they handed out all the medallions to all the past winners of the Stock Car Stampede, and it literally took like 2.5 hours? No, it was the 45th.
I just said this was the 44th annual shirt.
Oh, oops. I wasn't listening.
So
That-
I think that deserves a caution. A definite caution.
John.
Caution. Oh, yeah, put it in the holder. There you go.
In the holder.
There you go. No, the reason why this was a very special year for the Stock Car Stampede was this was the first year they added IMCA modifieds to the Stock Car Stampede during the 43rd annual. So this would have been the second year then for the mods, the IMCA mods, but they ran with Soda mods and IMCA mods together for, I believe it was 2 to 3 years, somewhere in that range.
Are you sure it wasn't the 45th annual?
So, and for that, Becca gets a black flag because that's 2 cautions on her now already in the matter of like five seconds. So, but no, so winners. So some very special things here for winners too. So one of the drivers was actually a shirt that's being repped here tonight. So the Bomber feature winner was actually Kyle Anderson. Kyle won it back in 2014. In your Wissota Street Stocks, it was Royce Jalowski that ended up winning. Randy Klein was your Midwest Modified winner. It was Cole Saring in your Super Stocks. In your IMCA mods, it was Hank Berry. He was your first one ever, which it's funny. A driver that is also being repped in this podcast, which Becca is going to talk about here in just a little bit, was also in that feature event and broke about halfway through it. So from that piece of it, in your late models, it was Jeff Wildung who ended up picking up the win. And who do you guys think in the Wissota mods? Becca, put your phone away.
Wissota mods?
Jessup, you could look at the back of my shirt. You know, I'm sitting right here.
That's what
So-
I was going to say.
No, it was Jason Grimes. Grimes picked up a really, really important win as well. I'll take my caution flag back. But yes, so that year they had over 310 cars at the Stampede too. I think it was 311 was the official car count at the Stampede back in 2014. Again, this is the 2015 shirt with the 44th annual on it, which was year 2 of the IMCA modifieds of the Stampede. And that year, who do you guys think won?
Wait, I wasn't listening. Sorry, what'd you say?
2015, who won the IMCA modified feature event at the Stampede?
Well, I can tell you Dustin Strand put
I will give
that
you.
door in the wall.
That was 2017.
Was it?
Actually, that was 2016. I will give you a hint here, really quick. So that driver just picked up a track championship this past Friday.
Jeremy Kell?
No. John Nord?
No, this past Friday he picked up a track championship.
Mark Dahl?
Yes,
Really?
Yes, Dahl won the second ever IMCA Modified Future event at the Stock Car Stampede. Okay, now moving on. Jessup, here you go.
Thank you, John. As we complete the road that matters, we continue on in a traditional sense of what the season has been, irrelevant. For me, it has been a very irrelevant season of shirts, as my shirt this time is Ryan Sutter of Coldwater, Ohio. He races a dirt car UMP modified.
It's very pretty too.
It is. I'm reading this off as we go because I have no clue who this guy is. And I'm slightly scrambled here after definitely smoking another deer. So, we are representing another irrelevant individual. If you want one of these shirts, this is kind of a nice shirt. Nice color scheme. It's a gray with neon yellow and some nice blue accents thrown into it, into the lettering. If you are interested in any of these irrelevant shirts, call it shop rags, call it just lounging wear, or if you want to show off to your friends and let them know that you know race car drivers from other locations when you really don't, just get a hold of us. We'll make sure that you are hooked up with a nice variety of drivers' t-shirts that are quote-unquote relevant.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Becca, go ahead. I gotta find my phone.
I have to say, Mason, this is this format. This format of us podcasting live on location together in one room is far more distracting than it is in our typical format. Because I've already
It's because you're wearing your beanie.
no, I've already tuned you out quicker than I normally do. So yeah, I wasn't listening when you were going through your stuff. Sorry.
By the way, do you even know what beanie you're wearing?
Yes, John.
Okay, so who drives the 41? You know, where the ball is for her.
Carson Macedo.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't say it was his brother.
No, not Cole. This is Carson Macedo.
We're calling
Calling people during our podcast. Oh, we're calling Mason's phone. Didn't you butt dial him as we walked in?
He did. Which is
Ay, ay, ay.
Hello.
Hey, we're doing a podcast. Put that away.
Yeah, put that down.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my.
Sometimes
This
you
is-
gotta make sure that
This
background
is
is following
You know, Mason, it's probably a good thing we don't podcast on location within the same room or together more often because this has been crazy so far.
Yeah, what are you wearing?
Okay, so today's
Point.
who or what are we repping? As John already alluded to, I am wearing a brand new Carson Macedo beanie that Jessup and Mason picked up for me when the World of Outlaws visited Fargo this past weekend. And I'm also repping because we are getting ready for a big racing weekend out east in the Iron Range of Minnesota. And it's a big late models. Late models will probably be a theme at every track we go to. I'm wearing a late model shirt tonight. I am wearing the Aaron Turnbull hoodie. I believe this is his back-to-back John Seitz hoodie.
Yes.
Very beautiful hoodie designed by Byron Fichter up in Estevan.
So, and by the way, what years did he win the sites? Do you know by chance?
This should be easy.
Should be 2000 and 2020. Sorry, 2020 and 2021. Stop it. I have had a traumatic day. Stop it. I've had a traumatic day. I got rear-ended and I didn't even do anything wrong. I was just sitting there. Anyways,
Don't take the black like great.
yes, so back-to-back John Seitz. Oh, 2019 and 20. Okay, thank you, John, for correcting me there. But really nice hoodie. I picked this.
It actually says it on here.
Well, I didn't look at it before I put it on. I just put it on.
It's okay. I'll help you. I'm the teacher over here.
John. Ay, ay, ay. Anyways,
Yes.
so this week's what are we wearing? Aaron Turnbull and Carson Macedo. So, yeah, get ready for this big weekend.
Awesome shirt, Becca. Even if you don't remember the years, it's still an awesome looking shirt. By the way, shout out to Byron Fichter for that design. It's actually really, really cool. I almost got one myself. Already worn this hat, but for the shirt, I'm repping Kyle Anderson, the 59. This is his 2021 shirt. He had a pretty good weekend.
Let me pull this. You just keep modeling.
Yeah, keep modeling. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at this is Mason. He is single,
squatting.
ladies.
Yes.
Mason, can you go back and do another squat for us?
I don't know.
Why is he so mad?
He's yeah.
Anyway, Kyle had a great weekend. He slept both nights at Brown County Speedway this last weekend and also claimed his track championship down at the Cheyenne Speedway on Thursday. So he had a pretty dang good weekend, so wanted to rep the 59 of Kyle Anderson.
And Mason, now what did he do in 2021 as well? Because obviously he was special in 2021.
I believe he won the track championship in Jamestown as well.
Yes.
So,
you're correct.
which is actually a pretty good feat because he was following the Street Stock Tour as well, and he actually skipped a couple of nights so he could win his first Street Stock Championship in Jamestown. So that was a really big year for him. So thank you for that reminder. So that is who or what we are repping. For the Track Packer Report, it's probably going to be a little bit abbreviated just because we're in a different setting and who knows what shenanigans will happen. So I will quickly go through the Thursday night shenanigans before we get to the rest of the weekend and have this championship night for Cheyenne Speedway along with the Ransom County Fair, which was a very busy night, had a lot of stuff going on. Started a little later than normal just because with the fair activities, and we were also battling weather, so we had to kind of chase the weather and get everything done, but managed to get the entire program in, and it was also the Moonshine Montour tiebreaker race. And so the results from that night include, in the NX Legends, Colin Compson got another feature win, and he got the track championship as well. In the Wissota Street Stocks, Johnny Carter went 2 for 2 in Todd Carter's Wissota Street Stock, and Kyle Anderson, like we just mentioned, got the track championship as well. Midwest Modifieds went to the 77 of Jared Klein, and your champion in the Midwest Mods was the 71 of Nate Renke. Mods went to Dale Ames, who is in a brand new car that I found out. He has been in that for just a couple of races and is quick out of the gate. And Joseph Thomas was your track champion in the Wissota Mods. Tiebreaker for the Moonshine Mod Tour went to Brady Curtis, who finished one spot ahead of Zach Johnson, so congratulations to Brady Curtis as well. Hobby Stocks went to Jaden Michelson, who was also your track champion, and after going 3 or 4 wide through the pack, went on a great show and cruised away with the win. And the Mini Stocks finished out the action at Cheyenne with Weston Clausen getting another feature win, and Mason Bogart was your track champion in the Mini Stocks. And so that was your Thursday night at Cheyenne Speedway. I have no idea what shenanigans have been going on in the background, but we will continue on as if nothing has happened. So Friday night at the Dakota Speedway, all 4 of us were there once again. I actually got to guest announce.
You got to guest announce, yes.
Yes.
We were both announcing, and then Becca found that bumper on the front straight away while she was taping.
Oh my god. Leave the bumper alone. Holy moly. So while Jessup is still maimed, I was running the camera. Mason came over, was on the mic with John and to a lesser degree Jessup, but still
doing color.
Yeah, overall, really good night of racing at the Dakota Speedway for championship night on August 25th. Should I just do the recap real quick since you guys are being all crazy back there? All right, so starting in the IMC Sport Compacts, your points leader going into the evening, Chris Yost, had a fairly healthy points lead, so it was basically his championship to lose. After the prior week's chaotic feature race, there were only 4 IMCA Sport Compacts at Dakota Speedway. Would hope to see that more Sport Compacts come to race at Dakota Speedway for our upcoming Oktoberfest, but we'll see what happens. But great racing with the 4 that we had. It was Alex Thompson who picked up the victory over Chris Yost. Even though he did win, it wasn't quite enough to get the championship. But Alex will be representing Dakota Speedway and North Dakota down at Boone Super Nationals, which is coming up in about a week or so. So best of luck to him, but congratulations to Chris Yost for winning the track championship in the IMC Sport Compacts. In the Hobby Stock division, it was probably the most exciting points battle going into the night between Derek Appert and Bill Hultberg. Derek Appert, who had been struggling the past few weeks, started by, was it 6th, John? I believe it was in the 6th position. He quickly found the lead, and it was quite the battle between him and Seth Halkeller for the win, but it was Derek Appert who held on, and the win sealed the championship for him, his very first track championship at the Dakota Speedway. Moving on to the INX Legends, it was a fantastic battle up front between Noah Madler, Gage Madler, Colin Compson, and at the end, Preston Martin showed his nose, but it was Noah Madler who crossed the finish line first, picking up his very first Dakota Speedway victory, and it was Preston Martin picking up his very first.
That's for them back there.
Oh, thank you, Mason.
What is this? We're supposed to move over? You guys are in the back.
Continue, Becca.
Anyways, it was Preston Martin who captured his very first track championship at the Dakota Speedway. moving on to your Westwater Street Stocks, it was Hunter Damagali, your points leader going into the evening. He chased down Jason Meitinger, who was looking for his very first Westwater Street Stock victory, chased Jason Meitinger down, passed him about halfway, and pulled away to win his third race in a row and his fourth track championship in a row. Quite an impressive feat for Hunter Damagala at the Dakota Speedway. And then in the IMCA Modifieds, it was Jeremy Keller who crossed the finish line first in the IMCA Modifieds, but it was Mark Dahl who picked up his very first track championship since 2011. So it's been quite a dry spell for Mark Dahl in regards to track championships, but he's had a very consistent season at the Dakota Speedway as he clinched the track championship over Marlon Seidler, who finished second in that race to win that championship. But congratulations to our feature winners, Jeremy Keller, Hunter Delmagala, Noah Madler, Derek Appert, and Alex Thompson. Congratulations to the track champions, which were Mark Dahl, Hunter Delmagala, Preston Martin, Derek Appert, and Chris Yost.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the recap on Friday night in Mandan. Saturday, we had a little bit of an abbreviated schedule, but Jessup and I got to go over to West Fargo for the World of Outlaws. Jessup, can I talk to you, the fans, about how you enjoyed the race night over there?
You know, Mason, it was a great night of racing. We had a great time going to the track. Definitely, the DJ session was right on par. It was on point, as the kids would call fleek. Maybe, I think, is that a term?
I don't know. You're the teacher.
Anyways.
Is that the right word for that moment?
Yeah, because Becca's 100% in the know of the hipster stuff these days. Especially about bumpers, John.
Yes.
I work with...
Anyways, we had a great time going to the old Red River Valley Speedway. I had to show Mason what, some good old badass American speed was, what the World of Outlaws. And... they were fast. They were fun to watch. We were in the danger zone at one point, and we almost literally died. And it was awesome because I called it. And we were watching, who was it? Swangler. And he ended up hitting the wall right before the flag stand, the lap prior to the last lap. And then coming to the checkered, he just jonked it, as our friends up north of the border would say, as he barrel rolled it coming towards the flag stand. And I swear, Mason, we were sitting there, and I was like, look at the pretty parts flying in the air. And they were flying towards us. And I thought, yeah, actually it was, Becca, when you're in the spot where they're coming towards you.
That's not the thought I would have, but okay.
Anyways, Mason, it was fun. There was 22 IMCA 305 Race Saver sprints. I was hoping for about 24, but 22 was about where I expected, right in that happy area. I was hoping we'd get to see Tyler Drucke, but if you look throughout the field of cars that we had a lot of talented IMCA drivers there, and it was their season championship, and there was a lot of fun storylines that I'll let you get into right now. And then I'll come back and do the woo.
Sounds good. Like you said, 22 IMCA Race Saver sprint cars were on hand. Several drivers from down in the Sioux Falls, Huset's area. So it was nice to see some of those drivers up there along with the regulars. And it was the inaugural Danny Schatz Memorial. So it was $1,500 to win to the winner. And all feature participants got a $150 gift card for the Petro Stopping Center in Fargo. So that was a nice treat put on by the Schatz family. So really a lot of great stuff there for the IMCA Race Saver 305s. And so to the race itself, kind of got off to a rocky start, had a double rollover at the very beginning. I believe it was Patrick Heikkinen, and then struggling. I can't remember who the second driver was, but both of them were okay, thankfully. And then we also had a fire like in the opposite corner of the track at the same time. So it was a little bit chaotic to start the race off for the 305s, but once they got going, it was really good racing, 2 and 3 wide all throughout the field. We unfortunately had another rollover later on. Corey Seekerson, and the Seekersons have been getting back into racing this year, and unfortunately he rolled down the front stretch, and thankfully he was okay as well. But the battle was definitely at the front of the pack. I believe it was Jacob Peterson, who's from Hartford, South Dakota, in the 80 car. He was leading the majority of that race, but one of the fast guys that's been in this region, Andy Pake, in the 64, he was definitely making his way towards the front. Got to the leader with about 2 laps to go, did a slider, passed him for the lead coming to the white flag, looked like the race was well in hand for Andy Pake as they come through 1 and 2. Peterson threw another slider in 3 and 4, cleared him, and then Andy had to cross him over. And by just 57 thousandths of a second, I believe, Andy Pake got the win and the $1,500 paycheck. So big congrats out to Andy Pake, who's been racking up some big wins and in a spectacular fashion out at the Red River Valley Speedway as well. So then you get into the woo, Jessup. What were give us your take on the woo.
Can you say that again, Mason?
What was your take on the woo?
No, I wanted to hear the woo part.
Becca will do it. She's a woo girl.
Woo!
I had a lot of fun watching the World of Outlaws, Mason. It was a great time. Strong field of 29 cars. It could have had a couple more, but you know what? Some major wrecks the night before, which we're very thankful that the drivers walked away. Well, they walked away, but they're okay is the big thing. And realistically, that's more important than having a couple extra cars in the field. But 29 is a good number for sprint cars in all consideration. It allows for a nice B main, a good dash, and some great heat racing action. So overall, if you look at the quality of the field that we got, we had the World of Outlaw followers, and we had a very strong representation of local drivers racing. So hats off to the NOSA guys, because it's tough racing some of the best in the nation. But you know what? I'm always a fan of our locals defending the home turf and getting out there, going elbows up with some of the best in the nation. So there's that. It was fun to see Tanner Holmes hopping in the Shark Racing as he's fresh with them. So,
by the way, I didn't realize that Tanner Holmes has a very big social media following. I think we found that out after in the pits.
Yeah, that was really interesting. They had a huge line for him, and I was sitting there, I'm like, the whole time I didn't fully recognize the name. I knew of him, but I didn't recognize like the significance of what he brought to the table, which is a lot of publicity. And honestly, he's a very nice individual to talk to. We got a chance to talk to him after the races when Mason and I went hero card hunting. And, you know, he had started the night off rough. The initial motor they had in the car wasn't going to fire, so they had to put in the motor from the night before in, which they had just redid, according to what he told us. And they couldn't do they struggled in qualifying because they couldn't put heat in the motor, which with the aluminum blocks and aluminum motors, you have to have that, or else it's going to be a massive struggle to get anything going. So he was already behind the 8 ball, but he had a really nice showing, I think. He brought the car home clean, and a night that there were some pretty nasty wrecks, and overall, it was fun watching him. So that was just one aspect that I took from it. What did you take from it?
Well, like you said, I mean, it was just fun to see like the top echelon, basically of all dirt track racing. I was kind of flipping between going to see them in Grand Forks and versus West Fargo, and I'd never seen the World of Outlaws race in West Fargo, and so it was a nice different treat that I haven't seen before, and they honestly put on a really good show. I mean, 2-3 wide throughout the entire field, and 30 laps, I believe, was the distance, caution-free. It was no cautions whatsoever. I think they were done in like 7.5 minutes. Yeah. It was a super, super quick race. I mean, Logan Schuart won the night before, and he was pretty much the guy to beat all weekend. But I mean, as I think Jess would agree with me, the battle like for second through like 6th, 7th was crazy. You got people throwing sliders all over the place, shuffling through lap traffic. It was an awesome show. I mean, you had like David Gravel, Gio Selzy, Buddy Kofoid, James McFadden, Brad Sweet, Donnie Schatz, all just to name just a handful of the drivers that were kind of slicing and dicing throughout the field. I mean, it was an incredible show. And I mean, we were sitting in the back stretch because it was jam-packed on the front stretch. Yeah. There was a lot of fans there.
Well, Mason, the options to sit in the front stretch where you go either shoulder to shoulder, stand in like the aisle entrances, or sit in the danger zones. which is kind of like the exit of 4 and the entrance of 1. And that was kind of wild. It was really fun watching McFadden and Kofoid race each other, because both racing out of the Roth camp, and man, that Buddy kid's going to be fast. He's already fast, but he's going to be one I think you're going to see step up next year, and towards the tail end of this year. And to have the faith as an owner to let those two battle it out that close, and nothing happened, so it was definitely impressive. And he walked away with a 3rd place finish that night, I believe.
Yep.
John, I see you reaching for things.
I do. Here's the reason.
I
do. Here's the reason why. Not you. So here's the thing that I think is kind of funny about this whole. You're already taken. Did you guys see? Speaking of Shark Racing and Tanner Holmes and that whole crew, did you guys see Joshua Johnson's post at all on Facebook this past week?
I may have glanced at it. I need a reminder what it's.
Yes. So this is really interesting. So he posted a picture of him and Tom in the shop with a brand new Bear sprint car chassis. And to them, in that sprint car chassis, turn your phone off, Jessa.
No.
So in the sprint car chassis actually came from Shark Racing. It is actually the car that Jacob Allen raced at the Eldora Million. And it was the same car that Tanner ran up in Grand Forks the night before. They left the car there in the pits with, I don't know if it was just because the chassis they didn't want anymore or anything else on that one too. But yeah, Josh talked to somebody and they were able to grab the chassis. So that chassis that Josh has is now actually going to be a chassis that's from Shark Racing that Tanner ran on Friday up in Grand Forks and isn't going to run anymore. So, I mean, it's kind of cool to, kind of a backstory on that, to where they have a chassis now for a sprint car that they'll build into probably next year for their program. So, yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool. That was just kind of a little tidbit that I saw after Saturday night's racing action over in West Fargo.
Wow. That is pretty awesome. Thanks for the tidbit on there. So yeah, it was an awesome weekend for the World of Outlaws and a fun night over at West Fargo. I'm glad we made the trip. It was a lot of fun. And so then, kind of finishing out the weekend, I got to make the trip back up to Minot, my home track, for their championship night. Why not Minot?
Why not make one more?
The best catchphrase in all of human history. Anyways, they had the last 2 weeks off because of rainouts, and so I believe the fans and drivers were kind of itching to get back into racing action, especially losing a couple nights with several point battles within the classes going to the nights. So definitely a lot up at stake. Shout out to the track prep crew up at Note XUA, a different track prep crew than they've had all year. They had that track really racy, had a lot of moisture in it, and it was some really fast and good hard racing action. There was a lot of great compliments after the night up at Note XUA. So, kicking things off in the IMSA Hobby Stocks, that was a clean and green race. 15 straight laps. The 78K Nap Belt trailed Kyler Saturn in the points battle by, I believe, was 3 going in. And he had to make his way through the field along with Saturn. And he got around Saturn and I believe Alex Twite late to get the feature win. Wasn't enough to get the track championship, as that went to Kyler Saturn in number 22. So congratulations to both of those drivers. The Sport Mods was a really good race, but there was a lot of cautions, unfortunately, which they had 26 Sport Mods, so I had a lot of cars. It's really cool to see that there's a lot of new faces in that class, but yeah, there's a few too many cautions probably for most people's liking, but still doesn't take away from the fact it was a great race. Gabriel Deschamps, who's been really on a tear this year, got to the front late in that race, had to start deep in the field, almost had to start in the mid-20s because he wasn't passing anyone in his heat race, and they had like 8-9 cars in a heat race, and it's like, better get at least somewhat closer to the redraw spot, otherwise you're going to be starting 20th, and when you're racing for a championship, you don't want to be starting that deep in the field. But he got the win and the track championship, so congrats to Gabriel Deschamps in the 21 car. The Sport Compacts was another wild race, kind of similar to Mand, and they had 13 of them, which is a really good turnout for them. And their points leader going into the night was Alex Thompson by, I believe, 3 over the 81 of Chris Yost. Unfortunately, there was some carnage on the first lap that wrecked a couple of bumpers, including Alex Thompson's. And unfortunately, he was a DNF from that point because I believe they can't race without a bumper necessarily, or it was just dragging that he wasn't able to continue either way. And so Chris Yost took advantage, got to the front, and got the feature win and the track championship in the IMSA Sport Compact. So congratulations to Chris. The stock cars was also a great race. Will Shareski went in a tight point battle with a 38 of Adam Goff. Those two started mid-pack, and Shareski was using the low line, and he got around the top runners, including Gabriel Deschamps and Brett Woznicki, to get the feature win, but not enough for Adam Goff. He claimed the track championship there. That's his first stock car championship at Nodak Speedway, and congratulations to Adam. And in the modifieds, that was another clean and green race. Only 11 cars. They had some carnage up in Wilson, and I think kept a few from making the trip over, and I think a couple cars are saving their equipment for Boone. So just 11 there, but the dark horse or lead horse, whatever you want to call him, Travis Hagen, got to the front, rocketed around Marcus Tomlinson, and set sail from there to get the feature win and another track championship for the 14T. So congratulations to Travis. And so that finished off the majority of what's championship weekend. There's still a few races out there that'll be deciding their track championships this upcoming weekend. And so we'll kind of get into what's upcoming next. With the day that he's had, have you updated Dakota Dirt with your latest?
I have not.
Did you know, race fans, you can check out all of your racing needs for North Dakota and the surrounding areas at Dakota Dirt. It's your one-stop shop for everything North Dakota racing news, results, weather forecast, temperatures, and racing schedules. So again, check them out. They have some nice articles on there. They're going to have information upcoming here about drivers going to Boone here very soon. So be sure to check that out as Super National starts next week, Monday. So on Labor Day. So that's kind of exciting. It preludes this weekend. It's going to be an awesome show. So they already have over 1,000 cars registered. It's a pre-register entry record. They're over 1,020 currently, and it's still growing. So I know Ryan Clark's been doing a really good job getting everybody updated, and we have a lot of drivers up here going down. So good luck to you guys next week down in Boone, as we're going to probably podcast midweek next week. So we'll be basically already started by that time. So, but again, if you want everything you want to know about North Dakota racing news, results, and much more, you need to check out Dakota Dirt. Those other networks, just don't even worry about them, because you can check out Dakota Dirt. It's your one-stop shop for everything North Dakota racing news. And Jessup, take it away.
Hello, fans. It is I, Mr. Dakota Dirt. And I'm here to tell you that we have a nice weekend of racing on tap. That's it. I'm lying. There's a lot more to it. There's so much racing around this state that you can go out and witness. It's actually a pretty big weekend of sprint car racing. If you first look around, let's talk about the non-sprint car fans. If you're not a fan of sprint cars, head over to the Nodak Speedway. They have 3 big nights, 3 big shows of racing action this week. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All the regular classes. I don't know if they've added anything else, Mason, but I do believe they've added slingshots. But like back, John and everybody was mentioning, it's been kind of a hectic week with getting back to school and getting adjusted to a MacBook, which I have no idea because I'm a PC guy. Anyways.
Yeah, who uses those Mac?
Yeah, they don't work good for podcasts. Right. Anyways.
You have to restart all the time.
Going further into sprint car action, Friday night is a big night over at the River City Speedway, as it is the final night of I think it's the Wayne Anderson. Yeah, it's the final to that series. So that'll be good. When I looked at their schedule earlier, it said something about the Midwest Power Series being there that night, which was kind of a head scratcher to me because Midwest Power Series is mainly a 360 series, but it's a new year. They could be doing it. So, should be a good night of racing action there. And I believe they also have the Renegade Wingless Sprints there as well, as they go into a even bigger 2-night swing over at the Devil's Lake, which we'll catch up to. So it is the Midwest Power Series. Wow, that's exciting.
3,000 to win.
3,000 to win. Thank you, John. So that'll be a really fun show over there at River Cities. But, folks, if you can't make it to River Cities or Nodak, you can always catch the season championship over at the Red River Valley Speedway. A lot of great racing action there. And I know our buddy Corey Litton will be there pumping the fans up and making sure everybody has a great time.
There's a lot of close points battles there, too.
Here you go, Mason. Tell us.
Well, I'll just highlight a couple, but The stock cars, the top three are separated by 2 points, which includes Andrew Jokum, Calvin Kesselberg, and Rob Van Mill. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. And then also in the modifieds, 2 points separates Dave Shipley and Jordan Sowers. So that's going to be a pretty big night. And even the legends, even though it's 11 points between Evan Hendrickson, and Sean Johnson, I could see 30 plus legends showing up, and who knows what could happen. So definitely head out to Red River Valley Speedway if sprint cars are not on the card for you.
Mason, this is going to be my guaranteed.
There's a lot of Nodak.
I'm going to make a guarantee for all you race fans, all you legend fans out there on the east side of the state. With Dakota Speedway not racing this Friday, I bet you guys break 45 legends. That is my guaranteed lock solid pick of the week.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
We've
it.
never done one before, but that, folks, is my guaranteed lock solid pick of the week. There's going to be 45 legends. You're going to get at least 2 Martins from the Dakota Speedway, I'm guessing. I'm going to guess 2. You might get all 4. You might get more. I don't know how many more cars they can pack into their haulers, but we'll find a way to get them over there. So if you're a fan of legends and some really good racing, along with a lot of up-and-coming good racers, you're going to want to get over to the Red River Valley Speedway. Now, moving on to Saturday, there's a lot of still good racing action to take in. Night 2 of the... I'm drawing a blanket. Motor Magic, thank you. I kept thinking about Magic, but I couldn't think of the first
And
word.
just have some very nice payouts. Drivers can check them out on Nodak Speedway.
Yeah,
Facebook.
and I think we also shared that on Dakota Dirt as well. Anyways, night 2 of Motor Magic. Again, a complete show. Great payouts up there. If you enjoy IMC racing or just want to get out for a day and see some cool stuff that they have planned in the area, why not go to Minot? It'll be a great time for you. Meanwhile, if sprint car fans, it is a traditional weekend of racing, as it is the Renegade National Sprint races at Devil's Lake Speedway. I know they've put a lot of time and effort into it. It'll be another too big for one night show, so it's 2 days, 2 shows, if I remember right. And that is going to be a good time over at the Devil's Lake Speedway. And then
They have 34 drivers pre-registered, by the way, for that.
34. That's definitely going to be a great time. And each night, it's going to be reshuffled, reset, restocked, and ready to go. Sunday. As we think the racing's over yet, you are dead wrong. As it is going to be, again, the third and final night of the, I can't say it, Motor Magic.
There you go.
I want to say Magic Motor, but it doesn't work.
No.
So, what is going on with John? Oh, he's dying. That's right. Anyways, it's okay, fans. He'll be back. He's too miserable to die. So, Motor Magic, night 3. It is going to be a big time, and I believe they have the Pitman races that night.
Yeah,
Do
that's
they?
typically when they do it, yep.
Mason, are you going to be out there to defend your honor?
No, unfortunately, I was a little too slow, and we're not going to make it.
That's enough, Turtle. To the back of the pack.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be another good night over at the Nodak Speedway. Remember, the one last time to see all your favorite race car drivers at the Magic City. And as John really is going to die on us, I'm really concerned right now. Anyways, night 2 of the Renegade Nationals over at Devil's Lake. The Devil's Playground is going to be rocking, and hopefully nobody will be rolling, but I can't guarantee you that because the wingless sprints are some of the wildest cars out there because there's minimal downforce without the big giant wings. Oh my gosh, John is not okay. Someone go check on him. Gordy, go. He's back. Okay.
I'm doing okay.
Now, with that, there's a lot of racing action going everywhere, and we're just going to highlight some of the more, let's say, traditional races. Hold on, Mason.
I'm ready. I'm a pinch hitter.
I'll need you in a second. Not yet. All right. Tomorrow night kicks off the Wissota Invitational season, even though it's getting watered down by other lame events that shouldn't be taking place and overcapping others. But we're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about the good races. Thursday night, the Invitational season kicks off with none other than the Silver 1000 at the Halverline Speedways at Proctor, Minnesota. One of the longest running late model races in the nation, only second behind the World. I think it's the World.
Yep. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's the World at Eldora. So definitely a can't miss bucket race for any Wissota late model fan. That is Thursday night. That it will be having.
That's where all of us are going.
That is where we are all going.
Hence why we're in the stadium in Fargo, North Dakota right now.
Yes, we're in the staging area. And I am definitely going to be needing to do some body work on my vehicle.
One of us doesn't break down.
John is breaking down as we go. He's dying.
I'm dying.
Why is he talking at that? The microphone's over here.
He's
Anyways, Friday night, Wissota Classic over at the Dundalinger Grand Rapids Speedway. I will never say that right, but we're getting closer. It'll be another great night of racing action as the Wissota Challenge Series moves over there, and it will be the Wissota Late Models, Wissota Modifieds, Wissota Super Stocks, Wissota Midwest Mods, and I believe they're having Pure Stocks that night as well. So that is night 2 of great racing action. Then night 3 over on the eastern side of Wissota. It is night 1 of the Hibbing Labor Day Shootout. 2 complete shows, all in the previously mentioned classes, great payouts. 2 nights of Wissota Challenge Series late model action. So that's Saturday and Sunday. Now I know, Mason, we got to be fair and unbiased. We also have to remember on Saturday night there is Rice Lake Speedway that will be having a racing program as well. Then, if we're looking further back, a little closer to the North Dakota, Alexandria will be having a nice race as well.
Big Buck Nationals.
I won't forget about the South Dakota people, John. We're working our way around. Mason, give me that back. Don't try to steal that. On the southern side of Wissota, we will be having the Big Buck Nationals. 3 big show? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with big racing action over at the Brown County Speedway down in Aberdeen, South Dakota. And we cannot forget our friends out west with one of the biggest races of the year, the East-West Clash, which is being covered. I think they're getting covered by Psycho Billy.
Yes, I think so.
Which will be, Psycho Billy's going to be heading out west. So you race fans are going to get to have kind of a little special surprise there. Anything else I need to cover, Mason?
Greenbush has a double.
Oh, yes. Greenbush has got two night at Greenbush?
I think they have the NLRA, right?
I believe they. Here, let me check.
I think it's the NLRAs that are on Saturday, Sunday.
2 big nights of racing out at Greenbush.
Yeah.
I really want to get out there sometime, John.
Same.
This year, I don't think it's going to happen.
We're not going to take Mason with us, though, because, when he goes to Greenbush, it rains.
Yes, John. We cannot bring the Rainmaker, a.k.a. Mason.
Yep.
So, as you can tell, a lot of big racing action, a lot of great invitational races that are going to be happening to kick off this opening weekend. Oh, and we cannot forget the Paul Bunyan's. Is it Paul Bunyan?
Mighty Axe.
Mighty Axe at North Central with their IMCA classes and their Wissota classes. So it should be a very big weekend, a lot of great racing action to go attend. If you can get out to at least one night of racing, I'm sure your local tracks or any tracks will be happy.
Did you miss anybody? Mason?
Well, there's some one-off races that are doing their season championship.
Would you like the mic? We can't hear you.
May I have the mic, sir? Good sir.
The speaking stick.
The one track doesn't matter because they race all year.
Just to highlight the one-off races that are taking place tomorrow, Thursday, which will probably be when we post this, KRA and Victory Lane Speedway will be wrapping up their season championships. Friday, we've already touched on River Cities. Let me bring it back up here just so I don't miss any of our friends who may be listening. We've highlighted a lot of the double headers already. That I-94 is doing their season championship as well on Friday. And then Saturday, I believe we have everyone covered already, including Rice Lake. I know Monday, Labor Day, Madison Speedway is back in action after a few weeks off. And so definitely go and support them, as I believe they're the only track running on Labor Day Monday. So this is a very, very busy weekend, kind of second to Memorial Day weekend with a lot of racing. And so there will be a lot of traveling folks this weekend. I'm excited to see a whole bunch of folk, as I'll be kind of traveling across the entire region, as will all three of us, or all four of us, I should say. So get out and support your local racetracks. This is one of the last weekends you are able to do so.
Lies. We have a month.
We have a whole month.
We have a whole month.
Kick-ass racing to get
A lot of tracks are finishing up, is what I was kind of getting at.
Yeah, hold on. Give me that.
That wasn't a very factual statement.
Yeah,
I
Mason.
agree.
I agree. I mean, he's making assumptions and not facts.
You know what they
It's in
say
case-
about
it's in
assuming
case the
things,
fans
Mason.
can't
This
see
is
us.
very true. So that was very much deserved.
I told you I was ready for the
Race fans and podcast listeners,
I'm very reasonable, Mason, usually, but that was deserved. That was definitely not a factual statement.
just remember who carries the big stick on this podcast. Anyways, we are going into our white flag segment. We want to thank...
I'm pretty sure you're in the back, Mason. Just wanted to...
I am already in the back, so it doesn't really matter. You're right. Isaac Hot Sauce Central, thank you so much for supporting the Track Packers in 2023. He is very busy, I found out this weekend, because he showed up to the track literally 30 minutes before race time. He's busy farming and combining, but thank you so much for the support. If you're able to see him through Invitational Special Season, be sure to stop down in his pits, say hi, grab some of the snacks from the Sandro Snack Shack, and thank you so much once again, Isaac, for the support. And so we will get into our wins of the week. Who has some wins of the week ready to go? You cannot look at my sheet.
I'll start.
You cannot cheat.
I'll start because Becca's not ready.
What?
So,
I am too ready.
I'll start us anyhow. Okay, so this is who I have for wins of the week. So first of all, I have to give a win of the week out there directly to Andy Pake for going through and picking up the big win on the last lap again over there during the Danny Schatz Memorial Race this past weekend at the Red River Valley Speedway. My second win of the week, I have to give it over to Hunter Damagala, because he is now a 4-time in a row WISSOTA Street Stock track champion over at the Dakota Speedway in Mandan. And Dakota Speedway in Mandan for the street stocks back, maybe Becca, correct me if I'm wrong here, probably around 7, 8, 9 years ago, we were carrying the highest car count on an average basis, weekly basis at Dakota Speedway. So street stocks used to have a ton of competition, still have a ton of competition over at the Dakota Speedway. And it's one of those really good fates over there to go through and win a track championship. So I'll leave one for Mason. I could steal his on one of his, even though I haven't looked at his sheet, but I do know who one of his is going to be. But the other one that I have to go through and give a big kudos to as well, and the driver is going to Boone next week, is Alex Thompson, actually. I have to give Alex the credit for basically going runner-up in points over at the Dakota Speedway, runner-up in points with some bad luck over at the Nodak Speedway in Minot. Alex went through, had still a really nice season, and he's going to represent the Dakota Speedway down in Boone next week at Super National. So Alex, good luck, do well, have fun, and just have a great time down in Boone, as that is the first time that he'll be going down there this upcoming week. So drive safe and make it safely down there as well. But yeah, those are my 3 of the week. I have plenty more that I could grab since Becca's over there looking hers up as we speak.
Well, race fans, I got a couple wins of the week. This week, I'm going to kick it off with another sprint car guy, Logan Schuchart, going back-to-back and doubling up with the Northern Swing for the World of Outlaws. It takes a lot of skill, a lot of effort, a lot of drive, and a lot of heart just to win one World of Outlaw race, but to do it back-to-back. We've been fortunate to see Mr. Donnie Schatz do it quite often, but we're spoiled. But to see it happen on our home turf by another driver who's worked extremely hard and kind of that team built itself from the bottom, and now they're here type of situation. So that's really cool. So that's my first win of the week. Second win of the week will go to, let's go with Jeremy Keller again with another dominating performance, 2 in a row. He definitely had to work a little harder this week for his win, but once he got to the front, he was checked out. And I'm going to go with the final win of the week is going to Mr. Mark Dahl. It's been a long time coming. One of a very loyal to the track type of racer. He's been with Dakota Speedway the whole time that I've been here. And not saying that other drivers haven't either, but you know, he's always been a near to the front runner, if not always up front runner. And a very well-earned, very hard-fought, very consistent season definitely helped him earn that big season championship in the points at Dakota Speedway. So, you three, great job this past weekend, and good luck during invitational season. And Logan, I know you're watching out there. You'll definitely be doing good out at the Gold Cup over on the West Coast.
Dang, our viewership and listenership has definitely gone up since we.
Absolutely. When you have the big stick, people listen.
I guess so.
Yep.
So my first win of the week goes to the dark horse, Travis Hagen, who locked up not 1, not 2, but 3 track championships this past weekend alone. The first coming at the Estevan Motor Speedway, where he finished 3rd. That was good enough to clinch that track championship up there. He found victory lane at the Williston Basin Speedway on Saturday, which He's won every feature race in Williston but 1 this year, not including the Dakota Classic Modified Tour, which rained out anyways. But very impressive and dominating season up at the Williston Basin Speedway. That he was the track champion there. And then he also found victory lane at the Nodex Speedway on Sunday and picked up the track championship up there. 3 straight track championships in 1 weekend alone. Congratulations to Travis Hagen on a phenomenal season here in Western North Dakota. My next win in the week go to 3 local North Dakota IMCA's Race Saver drivers right here. They are currently 3 drivers racing in the top 5 in national points, and those drivers are Trevor Zerbus, Andy Pake, who picked up the victory last Saturday, and then Ty Wilkie. So Tyler Drupke? That's why. He's your national points leader. That's why you thought he might come to Fargo and race. Gotcha.
Up here the week before, I believe.
Gotcha. Things are making sense now because, again, these guys, for the most part, race in Eastern North Dakota, and we don't, or I have not seen them race in person just yet. So, things are making sense for me. Things are clicking. But anyways, so yes, we got 3 local guys competing for the national championship in the IMCA Race Saver Series. And then my third and final win of the week goes to the youth movement in the Inex Legends, specifically this past weekend at the Dakota Speedway, where we had Noah Mather pick up his very first win at the Dakota Speedway, but he had to hold off his younger brother, Gage Mather, for the win. For a while, Colin Compson was up front, battling those two for the win, and Cody Meckart also finished top 5. All of those kids in high school and are doing very well in the Inex Legends. So I love the youth movement that we've been seeing. We have a lot of young and upcoming talent coming through that racing series, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Excellent set of wins, Becca. I'll add 3 more, or 3 groupings, I guess. First win of the week goes to Wyatt Brooker. He drives with the number 0 Wissota Street Stock out of Tulare, South Dakota. The reason I'm giving him a win is, well, I know John keeps up to tabs with Street Stocks. Wyatt's had a year. And when I say he's had a year, he's been upside down multiple times. Has had that car almost junked, I wouldn't say 3 or 4 times. That car somehow is still running. Like, he flipped it majorly or wrecked it majorly down in Huron 2 weeks ago. Got that car fixed up and was out racing this last weekend in Aberdeen. I don't know how that car is still running, but kudos to Wyatt and his entire team for keeping that car running and having a nice rookie season. I believe it's his first year in the Wissota Street Stock. So kudos to you for the perseverance and keeping that car running and keeping your season going. My second win also goes to a team that had a rough wreck this last weekend. Lily Christensen, she races the number 81 IMCA Sport Compact out of Minot. She barrel rolled in her heat race up at Nodak Speedway. It was a really rough looking roller, but thankfully she was okay. And her teammates, crew members, several other competitors were helping her get that car put back together during intermission as Malacca is wreaking havoc behind me, I assume. And but anyways, back to Lily. She was able to get back out for the feature race and put together some solid laps. I don't believe she finished, but it was nice to see her get back out there for the feature race. So kudos to Lily Christensen and everyone that helped her get back on track. And my third win of the week, I'll give it to two drivers. And the reason I'm giving it to two different drivers is because they both set specific goals when I talked with them, whether it's through interviews on my racing page. First one is Caden Blazer. Wanted to set a goal of 5 feature wins. He got his 5th feature win this last weekend. So big congrats to Caden Blazer. And also Sophie Anderson wanted to win at all 3 tracks, Fiesta City Speedway, Madison Speedway, and KRA this year. And she was able to accomplish that this year. So kudos to you two drivers for achieving your goals for the 2023 season. Bonus win, because this is for Jessup. Gabriel Deschamps, feature winner and track champion up at Nodak Speedway, announced in Victory Lane that they had a bunch of t-shirts that they were just giving away to the race fans, anyone who stopped by. So Jessup, here you go.
I'm a winner.
You didn't give me a t-shirt.
Like a size for me.
This means a caution for Mason.
It's a large. They were out of mediums, and I got the next size up. So there you go. So kudos to you, Gabriel Deschamps and crew, for the nice gesture for all the fans that stopped by. Literally, they were just giving them away at the trailer. It was really nice. So
Wow, you don't see that every day.
you don't see that often.
For either one of us.
Well, he said they were out of small, mediums, and anything
I'm
else.
just
So.
really disappointed in Mason.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time, John. Anyways, any other bonus shout-outs or any last closing thoughts before we sign off?
Well, I'm really excited for Mason and John, who will get to experience their very first Silver 1000 this weekend. It's a really fun and prestigious and fun race to go to. I would recommend any Wissota fan to go and attend. Sounds like there's gonna be a lot of fans there, a lot of drivers there, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend up in Minnesota as we celebrate Jessup's birthday weekend. Little friend trip.
What's your birthday too?
Yes, next week. Next week, probably when we podcast, but
Okay.
But realistically, I look 95.
I was thinking more 98-ish, but it's fine.
Yeah, we're not gonna kill the dog. He's laying there like a good boy,
He's being
Becca.
a really good boy.
Anyways,
He's not
race
yelling
fans,
about
if you see the
bumps.
4 of us roaming the pits, it'll be like a herd of Bigfoots rolling around. So, get your photos, come up, say hi. I will give you my irrelevant T-shirt off my back, and just have a good time this weekend out at all the invitational races. Like I said, if you guys see us, don't hesitate. Come say hi. Tell us who's your favorite, who's your least favorite. Is Gordy cuter than Malacca? Which, let's be honest, he's a little better behaved. He doesn't knock stuff off in the middle of the broadcast.
he knocked the camera off when
He
he got
knocked my
here.
camera down.
That was before the broadcast.
Podcast.
Whatever. Podcast, broadcast. We're going national with this.
Oh, I agree.
By the way, speaking of broadcast, do you want to make your official announcement since it was on Facebook now? About your
Yes.
broadcast?
Yes. Good call, John. Yes, with some exciting news this past week, Dakota Speedway TV and Jamestown are going to be teaming up to broadcast the Stampede, Jamestown Stock Car Stampede, and we are excited to get over there because it's one of those big bucket list things as a pay-per-view broadcaster that you want to do is do all the memorable races around your home areas, and I've done a couple of our local ones that for me local back home out east, and this is definitely one that I've wanted to do since we got out here and got going, and this is the year. So if you cannot make it to Jamestown for the Stock Car Stampede, be sure to tune in at dakota speedway.tv. It's going to be a great night of racing action. We will hopefully be doing our very best to provide everybody at home with a good insight of the racing action each night.
It's my birthday weekend, too.
It's also John's birthday weekend, and for those who don't know it, I'm pretty sure it's going to be beanie season.
It probably will be. Yeah. Even if it's warm out and a nice temperature, it'll still be beanie season. I mean, look, it's already beanie season.
Yeah, you didn't mention that on the...
Yeah, she did.
Did she? Oh, I was definitely not paying attention.
No.
Like
No.
tradition.
She
As
said-
is tradition, I don't pay attention.
But she said that it was Comacino, not
No. Why are you being like this?
No.
You're being bitter. You already got a black flag for the night.
I will defend you. This format is a whole lot more distracting, I have to say, because I have not listened to a whole lot of either one of you had to say so far tonight.
And with that, the caution flag is moved.
All right, so now that I finally have the big shtick back, one last closing thought. I just created a fantasy football group for game picks for the NFL. So if you are wanting to join us in the NFL Pick'em leagues, we're doing a $5 buy-in, and we're hoping to have merchandise available. So we'll have prizes for the top 3, as long as we get enough participants. I'm going to be kind of plugging that over the next few weeks, because the first game is going to be a week from today. A week from today is when the first game kicks off. So if you want to take part in that, be sure to join the Facebook group. The information is on our Facebook page for the group and the password. If you have questions, just message the page. We'll get you the info that you all need. And so with that, that will do it for episode number 26 of season 2, a very special on live location here in the Mason Aaron Racing Video Studio. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Hitch Harness and Isaac Hot Sauce Sandro. Be sure to like, share, and comment on our Facebook and YouTube page, as well as subscribe on Spotify, Google, and Apple. We have a full field here ready to go for the Labor Day weekend racing. We hope to see you all out there packing the track.